Here's the reality of the matter. It don't matter how much you love music. You have to make money. I just recently dropped a video about how this might be the worst time to do music. And a lot of people in the comments were like, what happened to the times when people did music for just the love of it? Now, I keep trying to reiterate the story that I'm in Atlanta. Atlanta for the last decade, 2 decades, has been the mecca for music, right? And I've seen some of the most talented people, way more talented than the people inside the actual music industry right now. Where are these people right now? They love music. They were more dedicated, yet they're nobodies. They're nowhere. They're not in the scene. They're not famous. It's because love doesn't quantify whether you're going to become famous or your music is going to be heard or not. Yes, it helps that you're super passionate about the music that you create, but it isn't marketing. It isn't advertising. It isn't the ability to understand a social media platform and posting times and engagements and understanding your audience and how to create a niche. Just because you love something, and it honestly brings me to a point. One of the biggest things that I've seen amongst super good musicians or super good artists and songwriters or people who are really, really great creatives, a lot of great creatives are super bad at the business side. They're just bad. So now you get a lot of these people in the last decade who become really good at marketing and are just okay musicians. And I think it started with that era of like people like a Soulja Boy. You know what I mean? Or when things start to go viral, or when artists start to really have some marketing prowess about themselves. And I'm not saying that Soulja Boy is a bad artist. Salute him. He's super dope. But at the end of the day, when you see people who are better at the business and better at marketing, they could still win in this business. It's a complicated situation with the music industry, especially in its current state, because you need a lot of things and you need the stars to align for it to happen in the proper capacity. You need to be very skilled. You need to understand business. And what I mean by business is you better understand accounting. You better understand marketing. You better understand how to run an ad. You better understand how to shoot some content. You better understand how to build a fan base and keep them engaged. You better understand how to go live. You better understand how to be able to create music by yourself and crank it out. Because if you're missing just a few of those things, and I haven't even mentioned the most important part of one of the most important pieces, and I haven't even mentioned one of the most important pieces, which is a really good team. People who could do your email marketing, who could gather leads, who could build a website, or who could build a funnel for you, all the small skills that you don't need to do, that the labels usually will do. You need those things. And so this is why love doesn't really matter in this business. When it comes to love, yeah, okay, cool. We love that you're passionate about your art, and we understand that people have an emotional connection to what they create. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to be able to get to a point financially where you could express yourself and love your music wholeheartedly. Because if you don't have a sense of stability, you're still going to have to create music that the market demands, versus not needing the money and basically just creating something just because you love it. Because even if you did music part-time, right? You had a great job and you could just create music when you love it, then that's a different situation. But being in music over 15 years, I've rarely seen that. I've rarely seen situations where people just do it because they love it. And a lot of times that's happened because they've made money already. They've made money in other industries. Now we could just float around with music. And usually those situations, people don't take music very seriously. So it's hard to get to a place where I could just love music wholeheartedly and just do it because I'm passionate about it. That doesn't happen. Because from the songwriter to the production level on up, you see people creating things for money. Even the top songwriters and producers, the labels call them and say, hey, look, we need this sound. We need this sound. This is trending. They follow trends because these are businesses. They want to be able to meet their bottom line. They want to be able to make money. And they understand in music is like a lot like fashion. We're at trends. You have a trend going in a certain way. You have music going in a certain way, a sound going in a certain way. They understand that. They want to be able to make money. They want to be able to ride the waves of the fads. Now you can go against the grain, but people who usually go against the grain and have a very niche sound should and better have their own audience built in already. You better have an audience to be able to sell this to if you're going to be super niche or you're going to, have your small cult like following. You better have a fan base. But those are few far in between. So we just have to understand that loving music is just not enough. It's just not enough. And it's always been the case in the music industry because it's always been a business. Do you have certain people that love it? Yeah. But people don't really understand the capacity in which people have to do music. Even people who have to get on stage, these artists. And you see these artists, when you see an artist like tour themselves to death, they have to do that because that's where their revenue is coming from. And even when you do a live show, most of that, almost half of that revenue has to go to paying taxes. So there's this continuous cycle of I'm not making royalties and I have to tour myself into the ground to keep up with the lifestyle that I've built for myself. And I'm going city to city and I'm never able to take in the city because this is a job to me. So when you see artists that are able to brand themselves and make money from something else, they rarely ever go back to performing on. Look at Rihanna. She was the biggest artist in the world. Making $100 million off tours. And once she did that brand deal and created Fenty, where's the music now? She still loves it. But that's a demanding job. So, people should just be able to reevaluate those circumstances when they talk about the love and the passion of music and really start talking to people and professionals because at the end of the day, man, like we understand that it's hard to make money. Cool. Every creative business has its challenges with making money and loving something and keeping the art pure, as we would say. But at the end of the day, I don't care how much you love it. You better learn what you need to do to make some money and make a living. Making a living should always be priority, whether you love it or not, because there's a lot of people who hate their jobs. They show up every day. And it don't matter how much you love your job, stability comes first. So even in this business, in music, if you're good at it, do it. If you love it, cool. But there's going to be a certain point in times where you just don't love it as much and other things become priority. Because things and people change. Maybe you want to start a family. Maybe you meet the love of your life. Maybe you move, or maybe you develop passion for other things in your latter ages or whatever. Whatever the case may be, people change. But at the end of the day, we have to understand what we're doing. And just because you love it doesn't mean you should do it. So it's your boy Federo. What do you think, about loving music and what determines if people would listen or not? Because I'm of the opinion that people don't listen to music because some artist loves it. I haven't experienced that. I've worked with some of the biggest artists in the world and I've seen passion from them, but I've seen mainly that they do it because they've been doing it. So like, comment, subscribe to this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let's debate it. Let's talk about it. All right, bye.